Well, good evening, folks, once again, and thank you so very much for tuning into the Sanjubaba show. Really appreciate that as usual. And thank you much for your responses. I've heard from a couple of you guys, and thanks for calling me back. Once again, just as a quick reminder, my phone number is 226-6024. Give me a holler when you have a question, concern, or if you know anybody that you know would be interested in coming over to the studios today or tomorrow or in the future to talk to me, and we could share their ideas and views regarding the city, state, county, and the country. Today, folks, I've got another fantastic personality in the studios. I've been friendly with him for quite some time now. The gentleman lives in India. He visits this country once a year to fulfill his obligations with the General Conference in Washington, D.C. And the person comes over here all the way down to Pocatello once in a while, and it's a privilege really to have him in my house. I'm such privileged today to have Dr. Kumar from India, who has been here in this country since 1970s and left the country in the 1980s. But since then till today, he visits the country once a year, as I said, during his general conference. At the same time, he comes and visits his friend. Dr. Das, welcome to our studios today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
It's such a pleasure to have you in our studios. You know, I understand and I know that you are a very busy person in India, and you take time to come to this country, and you spend your time with the conference, which you generally have every year, I suppose. Now, what kind of a conference is that you go through?
It's a general surgical conference.
Surgical conference,
Right.
Okay. And how many countries meets over here, or is it only from India, or how does it work?
People from all countries, from all over the world come there.
I see. That happens once a year.
Once a year.
Excellent, excellent. So you were a doc over here in the United States, and you decided to leave in the 1980s. When did you really leave the country?
In 1985.
85. And what made you leave the United States and go back to India?
Well, that's a big question. Sometimes I question myself, why did I leave? I think that there are two things that prompted it. Number one, I realized that many more doctors are needed in the those developing countries as compared to US. And the second thing was that the practice of surgery, medicine in general and surgery in particular, was getting very tough because
where? In India or here?
No, here, because all over USA, I dare say, and particularly in the state I was practicing, which was New York, the government agencies were always looking over your shoulder and creating profile about you as to how is your practice, how much complication you have, and things like that. I agree that some kind of control is needed over some practice, but I think it was getting too much at that time, and I'm talking about say 1985. And another thing that really prompted me to leave was the very high rate of malpractice insurance. I was paying almost close to $60,000 a year just to be in practice. So those are basically the three reasons.
So explain that one more time to us again, Doc. You're saying the government was very much involved?
Yes.
In the practice?
Yeah, they were controlling your practice. They would say how many days you should keep the patient in the hospital, what kind of antibiotic you should or should not use, and things of that sort. I won't say it is totally government, but those people who were monitoring the hospital, they were getting involved, and I think it was indirectly from the government.
Combined with the insurance companies?
Yeah, definitely. Because if somebody tells you how many days to keep your patient in the hospital, I think it is getting too much.
So that is hard to hear, because we live in a small town like Pocatello, Idaho, and we don't hear this very much. And I haven't spoken to a doctor yet in the studios. You are the first one, which is a privilege for me to have you. And understanding that is this what happens in big cities like New York, or you think it happens countrywide?
It is
nationwide.
I'm sure it is countrywide now.
And
if you talk to any other general surgeon or physician here, you will know that they have a profile made out of, say, patient stay. if I do a certain operation, and my patient is supposed to stay there 5 days, and she or she stays there 7 days instead, immediately there is a red flag there, and this is how they create the profile for the particular physician or surgeon. And I'm sure you talk to any surgeon or physician here in your this little small town of Pocatello, and you'll come up with the same kind of reaction.
So you had such a luxurious life, really. And I've done some homework on you, and I've heard a lot of stories about you.
Yes.
That you enjoyed skiing.
Yes.
You enjoyed a lot of outside world, for example, mountaineering and climbing the mountains and flying planes, and you really enjoyed the time that you were here.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm thankful for all those things for this country of America, which of course is my country now, being a citizen of this country.
So you are a citizen of the United States?
Yes, I'm a citizen of the United States very much.
Okay.
But I am thankful for that. I achieved all my American dreams after coming here. But at the same time, I am enjoying my work in India now too.
Let me flip this question a little bit. You had mentioned that yes, we have seen some malpractices and all this going on in this country. Now you left all those luxurious life of yours, and then you went back to India. India is a third world country.
Yes.
From United States of America, Doc, you went down to India. What happened there? Why do you think India was a better place for you than any other country?
Number one, I could utilize my skill very independently. And
the government is not looking over your shoulder over there?
Not as much. And I felt that I was working in a country where I was more needed than here as a surgeon.
So when you went back, I did some homework again. You started a hospital of your own.
No, your homework is wrong there, because this hospital was there for a long time.
It started the existing hospital that you're working at, serving at?
Yeah. This was the existing hospital. It was started in 1965.
Oh, I see.
And I joined it in 1987.
And am I right to say that you're doing a voluntary work over there?
Yeah, to some extent you can say it is a voluntary work.
Okay.
Not to mean that we are doing it all free, but we make sure that patients get treated even if they have nothing to pay. So nobody goes untreated there, whether you are rich or poor or whatever.
So if a patient comes in, they get treated?
Yes.
Excellent. So you have decided to go to India and decided to drop out your luxurious life over here and join into a venture where there is somewhat voluntary organization, where if somebody decides or has the capacity to pay, they pay you. If not, we say thank you very much and hope you feel better.
Yes.
And they thank you, and you are okay with that?
Yes, I'm okay with that.
How did that happen? Why so? What makes you decide that okay, I will be okay with nothing, but I will not be here and take this corruption, if I may call?
Well, probably one thing is in my favor, because I don't have anybody else to take care of, being a single person myself.
Sure.
And I don't have too many liabilities in life. That makes it very easy that way.
It does.
I'm sure if you were to go there with your kids and wife, life won't be that easy.
So tell us a little bit about the U.S. system of Medicare and the India system of Medicare. Just in your own words, what's your take on that?
You mean to say, when you say Medicare, are you talking about medical care?
Yes.
Okay. You see, in United States, I think most of the people are insured here, directly.
You would think.
Yes.
You would think.
Well, the thing is, if you are not insured, the government takes care of it in a certain way. Okay. So you are being taken care of as a social responsibility. But in India, about 5% of the people are insured, maybe at the most 10%. The rest pay from their own pocket or don't pay.
So it's a cash payment system going on still?
Mostly, yeah.
And what is the cost difference of you're a surgeon. What is the cost difference compared to India and United States, which I'm sure it's day and night. But give us some numbers if you would.
Say, for instance, if you had to do a, let me take a very garden variety case, cholecystectomy, that is removal of gallbladder.
Okay.
Right now in this country, I do not keep up with the statistics here, but I would dare say that to have a gallbladder removed in this country, you will have to end up paying close to $10,000.
That's from your pocket if you don't have insurance.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Whereas in my place, you pay a total of say 5,000 rupees, which translates into not even $1,000. It is $100, I would say, because rupee is going at 60 per dollar.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So you compare $10,000 to $100. Why isn't India becoming one of the fastest growing country for Medicare then? If the variation of cost is so high, we should understand this. And people from the United States, I think we should take advantage of this system.
Yeah, some people are taking advantage of this system. And now this is an extreme example. Remember that the figure that I quoted for India is good only for my hospital.
Okay, let's take to one of the best hospitals in India.
Okay, say we are talking about Apollo Hospital in Calcutta, Delhi, Madras, etc. Yeah, a operation like this will cost you about 50,000 rupees, which is about $1,000.
We are still compared to $1,000 to 10,000.
That's right, yeah.
So the max you would pay about $1,000. Is there a form or way that you could market that country, or that where we could have people go, because we are struggling over here, to be very honest, people who do not have insurance.
Yes, it is already being marketed, because I'm sure you have come across that term medical tourism.
Yes, I did.
In India. And I think this is growing very fast in India. People from USA, from Middle East are going there to have sophisticated operations performed on them, like heart bypass, joint replacement, and things of that sort. But those are only good in big cities like Calcutta, Delhi, Bombay, etc.
Doc, tell us a little bit more about this system, because I know my viewers over here, they really want to know about this. What was the term again? Medical tourism. Medical tourism. Tell us a little bit more. How does the system work?
There are agencies, and I don't remember the names. There are agencies which recruit people from here to have operations done in Bombay, Delhi, etc. Sophisticated operations like cardiac bypass.
So the agencies, who connects with the agents? Who connects with the doctors?
Agencies are stationed in the States.
In the United States, okay. Okay.
And they have connection with people there.
With the hospitals or the individual doctors?
With the hospitals.
Okay.
And as I mentioned, one of the most reputed hospital there is Apollo Hospital.
Okay.
And it is a Apollo Hospital chain. It has a hospital in Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta, Madras, etc.
So how tough is it to convince people over here to make this kind of a decision? Because this is quite a decision for some people who has never traveled outside. And I come and talk to Mr. John and tell John, you need a hip surgery and you don't have insurance. I've got somebody in India who could do it for you.
Well, you can do some convincing, but I think there is the flip side of this is there was an article written in Time magazine not too long ago that, okay, you have a best of care, or maybe almost equally good care in a hospital, in Apollo Hospital, but going from Apollo Hospital to the hotel you are staying in, say a distance about 5 miles, that distance, traveling that distance after a successful surgery is probably one of the most dangerous period of your stay there. Knowing the traffic in Delhi and Bombay, the unruly traffic, I mean. Okay. And some of them are convinced that this may not be the best way of doing it. There maybe in future they will take some measures so that this danger is eliminated.
So either build another road,
maybe
only for the patients.
Maybe helicopter transfer from the hotel to the hospital.
Like that.
Yes.
Like that.
No, these are real issues. And if you see the traffic in Delhi and Bombay, even staying in India so many years, even I am afraid of traveling in those roads. It's so unruly and so fast.
I go back to India every 2 years, and it scares me every time when I sit behind the taxi driver and he's driving on the street, because I think I've lost that challenging driving, which I used to do when I was there 17 years back. But anyway, so this is a huge concept. It's a very interesting concept, really. So how does the patient connect with the docs over here? Do they send all the transcripts over here? Once the patient is taken to India and the surgery is done, name it a hip surgery, how do we then do the rehab? Does the rehab continue in India, or they come over here?
Yeah, but most of the part of the rehab continues there.
Okay.
And remember, the hospitals that I mentioned, if you ever saw their operation theater in those hospitals, you will never realize that you are sitting in or working in a hospital in India. It's just exactly same as any of the best hospitals in the States.
So they maintain United States standard.
Absolutely. And that's why they are so costly. When I say costly, they are costly by my standard, because
by the India standard.
Yeah, by India standard, yes.
So how much does a hip surgery really cost, doc?
Hip surgery will probably cost you about 300,000 rupees.
300,000 rupees. That would be about 100,000, 200,000, about $4,000.
Roughly.
Roughly $4,000.
Roughly.
What kind of a waiting time do they have?
No waiting time. You go there as an American citizen, you are first in line. No waiting time for you.
How nice is that? Well, do you recommend that?
Yes, if you are looking from the waiting time and cost effectiveness standpoint, yes, definitely, because the surgeons there are just as good as here. Some of them are trained here. So yes, I'll definitely recommend them. I have nothing against it.
Excellent. So the hospital that you are in right now, where you are serving right now, how big is that hospital?
It's a 50-bedded hospital.
50 beds, okay. And how many docs do you have under you?
We have 4 doctors who stays within the facility, and there are another 4 or 5 doctors who visit from outside.
Okay. And what kind of a patient count do you have on a daily basis over there?
Well, we have about, in the surgical side, we have about 50 new patients in the outpatients. On the medical side, a little bit more, maybe 200 or so.
So in cases of emergencies, like we have systems over here, if our Port Neuf hospital fails to take care of some situations, we immediately take the patient off to Salt Lake City, Utah via helicopter. Do you have systems like that placed in your hospital?
No, nothing close to that.
Okay. So what happens to our patient over there when there's an emergency coming up?
There are many types of emergencies. The commonest one I think you are referring to is a road traffic accident, right?
Possibly.
Yeah. Because in that kind of emergencies, we do not entertain those patients. We take the initial care and refer them to the local medical college, which is not too far from us. The reason being, once you get involved in a so-called medical legal case, you end up spending a lot of your time in the court, and we don't have that kind of manpower in our hospital.
It is sad to say, but it's a fact to say that sometimes in third world country like India, we have situations with docs who, as I said, I apologize saying this, but I will tell you this, that they do not touch a patient until and unless they are satisfactorily bribed, if I may use the word. Now, do you believe that this goes on in India?
I'm sure it happens.
Why does it happen?
Particularly in government institutions, it does happen. I think it's just a greed of the doctor concerned. I don't think everybody is doing that, but I'm sure there are some bad apples. Probably, say 5% of the doctors there are doing it.
Is it because they're not handsomely paid? The greed for the money?
No, I don't think it's a question of being paid.
Okay.
It's the greed. Everybody is handsomely paid. Government Salary is very high nowadays, and there is no reason for doing it.
So, does Dr. Das wants to come back to United States and practice again?
Not as a not as a practitioner. I would love to visit this country, be a guest of yours anytime you want me to, but I'm not coming back to practice medicine here anymore.
You know, you have done an incredible job while you were here, and we really appreciate that. And we appreciate what you have done back in India also. You know, when I go back there, I hear a lot of stories about you. And as I say, it's a privilege to have you in the studios because of what you do and what I hear. And why such a lonely life, Doc?
I'm never lonely.
Okay.
I have my patients all around me. I have hardly time to breathe when I'm in my locality of Silchar. And I almost work 24/7.
What do you do for relaxing?
Oh, we did a lot of relaxing. Every other weekend we go out for hiking, rock climbing, etc.
You still do your rock climbing?
Yes, I do.
Excellent.
And once a year we go out hiking in the mountains of Himalayas and skiing there. Possibly every winter, if I'm not skiing here in the States, in the same state of Himachal Pradesh.
You know, a person who comes from the same state as I do, and knowing my state and knowing the culture that I come from, I have been here for 17 years. I have not gone camping once. I have not gone skiing once. It's a shameful thing to say. What intrigues you to all these outside world? I have very rarely seen, yet to meet another person like you, who really is so much fascinated with the outside world. What intrigues you so much?
Well, one of the reasons probably is when the place where I practiced, that is in Binghamton, New York. It was a snowy area.
When you practiced in the past, okay?
When I practiced there. It's a snowy area, as you know. And they had a lot of skiing facilities around. And you know, when I came to this country and I looked in the TVs, this sport really fascinated me. And even at that ripe old age of 33 or 35, you know, skiing at 35 is a ripe old age because you start as a kid. I started skiing, and sure enough, I had a few wrenches in my knees and ankles here and there, but I kept pursuing, and finally I reached a stage where I could tackle any slope. May not be very athletically, but I can go to any slope and come down without hurting me. So that was the challenge, and I faced it, and I think hopefully I have met some of the challenges.
Sure, and you have a blast with it, don't you? I can see that. I've seen all the gears that you have. You're a pretty professional kind of a guy. You've got all the gears that you need. So do you leave your gears over here? You come once a year, but now that you're here in Idaho, in the month of November, we don't have no snow here. What do? I would love to take you to the mountains.
No, I didn't.
Does that bother you a lot?
No, I didn't come with the purpose of skiing at this time because I know the best season is late January or early February is the best time around the Rockies, because I have skied in most of the areas here, like Montana. Big Sky, Montana, then your Wyoming, Jackson Hole, Wyoming, Park City, Utah, places like that. So I know how the snow conditions are and when they are the best. It's usually late January, early February, as far as I remember.
Sure. So you come here once a year, you travel all the way from East Coast to West Coast. You drive all the way from there, East to West. What is the purpose?
Well, driving is it's like a meditation for me. Some people think I'm crazy, but the way the roads are built here, the so-called Eisenhower roadway system, is fantastic. Once you get out of this city and you are on a major throughway, you can just tune into your meditation channel there and keep driving. And I love that. I listen to the NPR radio, beautiful programs. Then I think about myself, about my life, what I am doing, whom I going to meet, and things like that. It is fantastic. It's really like a transcendental meditation to me.
I like that. Tune in your meditational channel.
Yes.
I love that. So you start thinking about you. You start thinking where you're going. You start thinking about what am I doing. You start thinking about what do I want to do. What do you want to do, Dr. Das?
I'm doing what I want to do.
What wakes you up in the morning? What's the main inspiration? One inspiration that wants to wake you up from bed in the morning every single day in India?
Well, when I'm in India, I have surgery scheduled the whole day. We work from 9 a.m. in the morning till maybe 7 p.m. in the evening, and you have so much of patient to take care of that you hardly have any time to think. So this is where this so-called TM comes in this country, because I have a lot of time to think.
Sure.
Lot of time to think about where I am from, where I am going, so on and so forth.
Good break time.
Yes.
So many patients, and I believe it's a pretty small space for surgery. How do we do that?
Well, we have to manage
One
it.
person at a time.
One person at a time. We have to manage it, and sometimes the wards are crowded. You have to bring it cot inside to accommodate patients.
So you put extra beds in there.
Extra beds in, yeah.
And you have extra doctors taking care of another surgery while you are working on one.
Right.
So under one room you're having multiple surgeries going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You have two operating room tables in one room, and sometimes there are two operations going on simultaneously.
Does that disturb you?
No, it doesn't.
Does it bother the patients?
No, it doesn't, because we have separate anesthetists, we have separate surgeons. I have a very good collection of colleagues, surgical colleagues, who help me out in all these things.
What is your success rate?
I don't know. What do you mean by success rate?
For your surgery?
Well, I would like to say it is 100%, but it is not. Any operating surgeon, if he operates enough, will have complications, either infections or some kind of other kind of complications or death. But I dare say that our complication rate is very low, because our selection process is very strong and tough. If people are above certain age, or if people have some other coexisting morbidity like heart disease, lungs problem, etc., usually we do not take care of them, do not tackle them. We send them out to a place where they are better equipped. That way we keep our complications rate low and our success rate high.
You know, equipped was the next question. How are you equipped? How standardized machines do you have in your hospital?
I'm sure we do not have the machines that you do have here, but we have. I think we have enough to take care of any complications of surgery. Yes.
What is the population of the city where you are in with your hospital?
About 200,000. If you take the Greater Silchar, 200,000.
It's a small little town.
Yes, it is. Very small.
200,000.
I don't know what's the population of Pocatello is. But
Pocatello, we stick at 55. We stick at 55. So, anything else that you would like to share with me about the comparison of Indian facilities and American facilities? Something that interests you very much, or something that do not interest you at all?
Well, it is difficult to compare India with America, because you know, American medicine is the topmost in the world. Nobody can question that. But I think the way several regulations are coming makes it very tough for the doctor to work. You talk to any doctor, any surgeon, and they will say that the thing that bothers them the most is the paperwork. They say they end up spending time with the paperwork where they could have used the same time in patient care, and this is the bottom line.
Well, Doc, you know what? We specialize in American paperwork. I think we have got lots and lots and lots of papers that we use. And thank you so very much for coming to our studios today and really talk to us. It is such a pleasure that you've made some time and spent some time with me today. Folks, thank you so very much for tuning into the Sanjubaba Show. I hope you have enjoyed this program today. And we look forward to hearing from you more. And we look forward to if you have any questions regarding Dr. Das, he'll be with me for another day. So 226-6024 is the number. Till then, same time, same day, next week, tune in again.